The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Catalyst webinar series presented by the Education Committee for the Southern California PGA. The Catalyst webinar series is a bi-weekly educational platform for creating success and change in your club and career. We're very excited and pleased to introduce Matt Anzalone, Vice President of Player Development for ClubCorp, on the broadcast today. Matt is a PGA member from the Southwest section out of Arizona. He's also a past Southwest section board member. He received his first head professional position at a 27-hole facility that did $3 million in golf net a year for a private facility at the age of 25. Very impressive. So he's done a lot in a short time. He's really not that old. Good morning, Matt. How are you this morning? Thanks for being on the webinar with us this morning.
Yeah, thanks, John. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the intro, and happy to be on this webinar and educate professionals in the Southern chapter of California on our program of player development that we're doing with ClubCorp, as well as just player development with golf professionals all around the country.
Fantastic. Well, as you know, the floor is yours. Feel free to take the members through the presentation. Tyler and I will monitor the question board throughout the presentation, and when you conclude, we'll head into some Q&A for the benefit of the membership. Thanks again, Matt. Take it away.
Thanks a lot, John. And for everybody on the call, really appreciate your time this morning. I truly believe as a PGA professional, what we're going to discuss is going to give you some fantastic insight, not only on how to grow your own income, but also your clubs or your students' revenue as well. So let me go ahead and I'm going to shut off my camera. I think there might be a little delay when I'm speaking, so I'll turn the camera back on after the presentation. All right, so John was very, very kind to give a little introduction for me. He asked me to put a bio together, and haven't really completed much of that before in my past career, so I didn't have too much of information to give him, and I didn't want him to steal the thunder for my first slide of the presentation. So this is just a little bit about who I am. My name is Matt Anzalone. I'm originally from a small town in Wisconsin called Racine. I was born and raised there, lived there for 15 years. My family moved out to Arizona when I was a sophomore in high school. One of the reasons why golf is so near and dear to my heart is, you know, when you move as a young person, as I did, a sophomore in high school, it's a difficult time to meet people, especially mid-time in high school. So golf was one of my pathways to get socially connected. I made the high school golf team at my school, and it was a great way for me to meet a ton of people, and it has continued to be a great way to meet a lot of people around the world. So that's why it's near and dear to my heart. From high school, I was very passionate about golf, just like probably every other high school individual. I had aspirations to play college golf, but was not near that good. So to stay around the game, I went to Arizona State and completed the professional golf management program that they offered at that time. During my PGM program schooling, I conducted 2 internships, both in the Wisconsin section PGA. So I went back to my home state and worked several years back there, as well as the Southwest section PGA. And that's where my home started to become, was in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I currently reside in Scottsdale, Arizona. During my internship through the PGM program, I was fortunate enough to get on board with a company called ClubCorp. I started working at a 27-hole property in Scottsdale called Gainey Ranch Golf Club. It's a fully private facility with a hotel component, and beautiful property. So if you haven't been there and you visit the Phoenix area, please do stop by. It's a gorgeous facility with a remarkable finishing waterfall hole. So joining ClubCorp, I did everything at Gainey Ranch. Started as a shop attendant, assistant golf professional, first assistant, head golf professional, director of golf, regional director of golf, and then newly into my role as a regional vice president of player development with ClubCorp. So ClubCorp has been very, very good to me in the sense that it's created opportunities all throughout the country to learn and to grow, see all sorts of different types of properties, and it's been very pleasing working with them. A little bit about ClubCorp. ClubCorp as a company was established in 1957 by a gentleman named Robert H. Dedman Sr. We approximately have 20,000 employees, which is pretty remarkable. We run about 205 clubs and resorts, and the beauty about our company is we own and manage those properties. We have a few properties that we manage, but mainly all of our properties are owned and managed. We service over 430,000 members across that portfolio and operate in 28 states. Some of our premier clubs across our portfolio include two that are listed on this PowerPoint presentation, which is Firestone, previously held the WGC Bridgestone Championship, and then as well as Mission Hills in California, which hosts the ANA Inspiration Championship. The player development program, which we'll be talking about today, this is, the basic outline is it's a customer management system. Every company out there in the world manages their customers. So why has the golf business gotten so far away from that? Well, we'll talk a little bit about it today, but player development is something I know as a PGA professional, I wish I had available to me as soon as I got into the business. So our agenda is going to cover such things as, why player development? Why should that be an importance to you? We'll look at some and discuss some financial findings that we've been able to discover through this program. We'll talk about how ClubCorp creates these financial results that we looked at. We'll also discuss what is implemented to create those results, and then we'll look finally at some testimonials of two of our top PGA professionals that are excelling very well in our player development program. And then we'll wrap it up, as John mentioned, and we'll go over a question and answer at the end, and happy to answer any questions that may pop up, so jot them down as we go through the presentation. So let's just start with why player development. We talked a little bit about this before in the intro, but it's to manage our customers. We do that through contacts and engagement. Those are two separate things, which we'll discuss a little bit further in the presentation. But we manage our customers through contacts and engagement, and then we also need to continuously activate those customers. It's not a one-time, hey, I met with this individual and done. We need to continue to activate them on a rolling basis. So we like to take a proactive approach to activate our customers. The golf business has become so in the form of we sit in the golf shop, we wait for the customer to come to them, we service them very well, they have a great experience, they leave the course, and we're done. Well, we're taking that proactive approach and we're reaching out to our customers before they come to us and we're getting them involved. It also is going to drive some key components in the golf industry. Taking a proactive approach to growing the game of golf. I don't know one PGA professional out there that does not want to grow the game of golf. That's our business. We don't grow the game of golf, we don't have jobs. This is a proactive approach in growing the game of golf. And not only is it going to grow the game of golf, but it's going to grow your coaching revenue, golf spend at your club, and reduce attrition at your club. Also, it has an opportunity to acquire new members. This isn't just an opportunity for private clubs or public courses either. If you're an independent coach or instructor, you have a clientele base. You have an opportunity to manage those customers and grow your coaching revenue and reduce your attrition of your customer base as well. So this applies to everybody in the golf business, not just private clubs or public golf courses. So let's discuss a little bit why player development. This is probably one of the most exciting slides for me to talk about, because as a PGA professional, what we're doing with ClubCorp is we're changing the culture of all of our professionals. We're getting them from out behind the counter and in front of our customers and engaging with them. I know for a fact myself and a lot of my colleagues in the business got into golf because they didn't want to sit behind a counter and answer phones and book tee times. They wanted to be out in front of their customer, engaging with them and conducting lessons. The true value of a PGA professional is so broad. We're great fitters. We're great instructors. We have great playing abilities. Well, we're exposing those values as a company for our professionals, and we're letting them use those strong suits to engage with our customers. Lastly, player development connects the business goals of a golf club and the instruction side. So we've always gotten the mindset of, hey, our instructors go out and they teach, and whatever they teach, that's their revenue. So they're teaching as much as they can to generate more revenue. Well, at the end of the day, every single golf club, individual, private course, public course, has a business goal. And how do we create instructional programming that meets those business goals so everybody can win? So before we get into kind of how we create player development, what it is, I just want to show very interesting stats that are facts. So what ClubCorp was able to prove is a financial dues impact. So at a private golf club, we ran a test, and this is a test that we've done at 34 clubs. This is just an example of one. This club had 375 golfing members at their club. Under our player development program, we were able to get 260 of those 375 golfers under care of one of our PGA professionals. And we'll talk about what under care means. But this was an opportunity for us to manage our customer of 260 people. When we did that, before I show you the results that we proved out, I wanted to show an interesting fact of 2018, this club's attrition rate. So if you don't know what attrition means, attrition is the percentage rate that you've lost of members in that year. The attrition rate was 9.7 in 2018, and it was 17.7 in 2019 at this club. In that care group, of those 260 individuals that we managed, we were able to reduce the attrition from 17.7 down to 8.3%. So if that's not eye-popping enough right off the bat, that's a 50% slash in half of what we were able to reduce the attrition rate for. On average, I believe the average attrition around the country is around 16%. So you can already see that managing the customer proves to retain more members. So what this number right here is the care group attrition of 22. If you're looking at that number, that's me simply taking 8.3% and timesing it by 260 customers that we had under care. So straight up, out of 260 customers, we lost 22 members in that calendar year. The non-care group attrition, so outside of our care group, the attrition rate was 39.5% at this golf club. If we were to multiply that by 260 members that we were managing, we would have lost 103 members. So in cents, we saved 81 members compared to what the non-care group attrition rate was. You multiply that out by their monthly dues at that golf club, that's over $500,000 in a dues impact we created in one club. And this was the same financial stats at all of our clubs across the board. We were able to improve the dues impact by reducing attrition and saving more members. This just proves out that managing your customer will drive those results. And one of the more interesting things that we noticed, this 8.3% attrition rate is pretty great, right? But what we looked at when we dove in a little bit deeper was when these 260 members were involved in some form of coaching. They paid money in coaching, they took a private lesson, they participated in a clinic, whatever it would be, some form of coaching. The attrition rate went from 8.3% down to 4%. So cut in half once again. So it shows you how important coaching is, and we'll explain why we believe and why you should believe coaching is important as well. Just another interesting fact about coaching is for every dollar spent on coaching, this was I believe a statistic that was ran throughout the country a couple of years ago from a different company, but for every dollar that was spent, they found that $5 was spent at a different part of the facility at the same time. So just do the math on that. If you have somebody taking a lesson, they're spending $50, multiply that out for a year and what that could mean to your facility. So coaching is very, very important. So not only should we just be talking about a dues impact, but also other financial markers were an impact as well. So if you're a public facility or wherever you are, if you want your numbers to move up, look at these other findings we found. At this same golf club, out of those 260 members, on a year-over-year comparison, we increased visits by 6,000. We got our customers visiting the club 6,000 more times than they did the prior year. What do you think that's going to do for the rest of the spend? It's going to increase it. Our golf revenue increased for those 260 members on a year-over-year comparison by $54,000. A la carte increased by $30,000. Retail increased by $28,000. And lastly, coaching increased by $13,000. Professionals will drive more visits and more spend, which creates better retention and a dues impact as well. This is one of the reasons why we're recruiting top PGA professionals, because we know the value of the PGA professional. It's not just our knowledge for the administrative roles of a PGA professional. It's the value that we can produce in coaching, engaging, and creating revenue. Let's talk a little bit about how ClubCorp created these results. We like to talk about managing our customer's journey. Might sound a little bit goofy to you, because when I was first introduced this program 3 years ago, I always thought that was a very funny term. What does that mean? What does managing the customer's journey mean? Well, every customer in the game of golf has a goal, whether that's a goal of improving their handicap from 25 to 20 or a 15, whether that's trying to hit the ball 10 yards further, or whether that's just, hey, I joined the club because I want to meet people, I want to be socially involved. Every customer has a goal, and we are the experts in golf. So if we can take our expert knowledge and create pathways to manage those golfers to obtain their goal and get them to their journey, the end of their journey, that's how we manage our customers on a rolling basis and continually activate them. You have to expose what their goal is. When a goal is set out in front of somebody, they're 80% more likely to achieve it. So if we can obtain those goals out front, show the member or the customer how we can get them to their goal, whether we lay that pathway out and it's, hey, this John wants to go from a 20 handicap to a 10 handicap. And John, we know in your commitment, that's going to take meeting with me 2 times a week for the next 6 months. If we can outline what that path looks like and manage that customer through their journey to their goal, we're going to achieve great things. Coaching has to be an importance of it. You saw how important it was as it relates to reducing attrition and retaining individuals more. The same thing if you're an independent teacher. If you're out there and you have 100 students, if you're not managing those 100 students, you could lose one at the snap of a finger. You have to know what their goals are, and you have to manage their pathway to their goal, and that's managing their journey. Time and resources. So, as business leaders, we need to set direction, allocate resources, and ensure execution. And that's exactly what we've done at ClubCorp. We've developed new staffing models. We have individuals that are called player development professionals now. They're specifically involved in the player development program, which could entail coaching and customer management. Lastly, you have to hold your staff accountable. If you set that direction and allocate the resources, you have to ensure execution, and that's holding your customers accountable. So we also created some of these results by producing reporting and tracking. So we have reports that can show our professionals and our clubs how many engagements they've conducted in the last 30, 60, 90 days, how many individuals they contacted in the last 30, 60, 90 days, and out of their customer base, which ones fell inactive, had not had a contact, have not had an engagement in the last 30, 60, 90 days. So we've supplied the reporting and the tracking to make our professionals successful, which is in turn assists in managing the customer. And then lastly, I truly believe that people are motivated by three things: appreciation, participation, and lastly, money. We all need to support our living or our families, and we've done that now. Our golf professionals don't only get incentivized on coaching commissions, they also are now getting incentivized on increasing golf spend, reducing attrition that we talked about, and acquiring new members. So it's truly a great way to break through. It was very interesting. I was talking to a gentleman the other day that sat on the national board for the PGA. And he's a little bit older of a gentleman, has been a PGA member for a long time. And back in the day, a lot of the clubs used to be the professional owned the golf shop, owned the driving range. Well, if you didn't manage your customer, there was no way you were going to generate more revenue. I feel like we've gotten away from that a little bit because our professionals are paid on salary basis now for the most part. And we've lost the concept of managing the customer, and we just have gotten in the routine of servicing the customer. Well, with our new incentive program that we've developed at ClubCorp, we're getting back and rewarding our employees for building and generating revenue. So what is implemented? What have we implemented at ClubCorp? We've implemented care groups. A care group is a group of individuals that we've allocated to each professional. So out of that example club that I was showing, we had 260 members. Not one professional is managing 260 people. We divide that up between the professionals. Johnny could be managing 50, Tim could be managing 100. So each professional is in charge of a certain number of care group individuals. It's their goal to manage those customers and manage their journey in golf. A care group is derived by a number of different people. It could be customers of ours that we haven't seen in a while. It could be customers of ours that don't spend a lot of money at the clubs. It could be new members to the clubs that we want to get socially integrated quick so we can have them enjoying the club and meet people. It could be new people to the golf game, to the game of golf. It's a wide variety of individuals that we group up and we divide out between our professionals. How do we manage these group of professionals next? Well, we talked about two things. We manage them through contacts. Contacts are different than engagements. Contacts are picking up the phone, calling them, or physically speaking to them in person, or emailing them, trying to get some sort of form of contact with them. And this contact only works if we actually communicate with them. It's not, hey, I picked up the phone, I called them, they didn't answer, I left a message, or I emailed them, I haven't heard back. It's continuing to reach out until we can actually have some form of communication with them. Once we do that, we like to continue enrolling and activating them. What that means is, if I'm managing a group of 100 customers, on a rolling 0 to 60-day basis, I should at least have contact or an engagement with 70% of those 100 people. That's how you manage your customer base. Next, it's through engagement. I hear this a lot when I go to clubs. When I roll this program out at numerous properties across the country, every single professional likes to say, hey, I engage with my members all the time. And rightfully so, they do. But engagements aren't talking to somebody in person or being out on the first tee and shaking hands and kissing babies. It's about having a physical engagement with them, which would be what we like to call number one. Maybe that's an assessment. How many of you have joined a gym, and when you join a gym, you get a fitness instructor that comes up to you right away, or that's part of the process of joining a new gym? You get a free 30-minute assessment. That's an opportunity for that instructor to understand who you are, why you joined the gym, what your goals are, and then set a plan for you to get to those goals. Sometimes people will move forward with that instructor. Sometimes they won't. Assessment's the exact same thing. It's not a free golf lesson. It's an opportunity for our golf professionals to get in front of the customer, understand who they are, why they've joined the club, what they're looking for out of it, and how we can manage their journey to get there. Second thing is playing golf with our customers. We've gotten so far away from that, hey, once again, I got in the business not to sit behind a counter, but I enjoy playing golf too. I want to get out and play with our customers. And we have found that playing golf with your customer is the most powerful tool of engagement. You have 2 hours on a golf course to interact one-on-one or as a group setting, because we found that group settings are very powerful as well. If you have 3 members that are new to the club and you can introduce them to each other and go out and play golf, what a great way to get them socially connected. Playing golf with the customers is very, very important and very powerful. The third thing is active marketing events. These are events that we've structured to bring to real life the value of the PGA professional. I'll give you an example. Last month, we ran a marketing event that was centered around 10-foot putts. We called it a 10-foot putting challenge. This was an opportunity for us to take each care group member and personally invite them out to this event, get in front of them one-on-one, and show them within 10 or 15 minutes how we can improve their putting from 10 feet and in and get them making more putts. Talk about building a relationship and building trust. If you can show somebody that you're the expert, you're more likely to go along with them. The fourth thing we do for engagements is we roll all of those. All of those need to have a means to an end. If you conduct an assessment, if you go out and play golf, if you run an active marketing event, a clinic, whatever it is, it always should have a means to an end. And what I mean by that is we shouldn't just be doing programming or playing golf with customers once or just doing it to do it. We need to be booking and building future engagements. So from our active marketing events, if we were out there on a 10-foot putting challenge with an individual for 10 minutes and we realized right off the bat and we can show them why they need a new putter, we could immediately book them right into a fitting. Maybe somebody doesn't need a new putter, but they just need some tips. If we can give them a couple little tips during that 10 or 15 minutes, show them that we're the experts, we could convert that into a coaching plan, get them to their goal. Group programs, we could book somebody into a group program. So every engagement needs to have a means to an end and have a future engagement that's booked. To continue what we've implemented, we talked about it before, the tools and resources. If you want to achieve something, you need to have the right staff, you need to be able to train the right staff, and you need to have a plan. You need to implement staffing, training, and tools and resources to get there. As part of being a manager is executing and allocating those resources. Programming. This is very important to have because we talked about in the beginning, your coaching needs to align with what the overall club's goals are. You know, if you don't know what your club's goals are, go to your manager, ask them, how can you create programming that drives golf spend, that drives new member acquisitions, a pipeline for new members? How do you drive coaching that can reduce your attrition, get individuals more excited about golf or socially connected at the club so they are using it more and we retain them longer? And then lastly, support. As managers, we always need to support our staff. We need to be there. We need to help answer questions. And we need to be the leaders as well. We need to set example and lead by example. Ultimately, you know, we want to create a better living for the PGA professional to earn the same and work less, or earn more and work the same amount. And truly, we do that through building relationships, trust, and enriching lives. That's the overall goal of what we're doing right now. We like to build relationships by picking up the phone, calling a member that we haven't seen in a while, calling a customer we haven't seen in a while, and just saying hello, checking in, seeing how they're doing. That's how we build relationships. We build relationships by being in front of them, engaging with them. We build trust because we are out in front of them, showing them how we are the experts in golf and how we can get them to the end of their journey. I always like to use the example, if someone approached you and said, hey, would you buy stock with me This is how much it's going to cost. I'm going to make you millions. If you didn't know that person and have a relationship with them or have trust in them that they knew what they were talking about, there's no way in heck you would invest money with them. The same thing goes for coaching. You have to have a relationship with somebody. You have to have trust with them to get them there. And if you don't have those established first, if you went up to an individual on the driving range and said, hey, start taking lessons with me, they'd probably look at you like you're crazy. You have to know who they are, what their goals are, build that trust. And ultimately, when you do that, you're going to enrich their lives. We're going to get them to play better golf. We're going to get them to enjoy the golf club that they're a member at or that they play at, enjoy that with their families. And ultimately, like I said in the beginning, this isn't always about the customer. At ClubCorp, we're trying to create better livings for our PGA professionals too by incentivizing them on other areas that no one's incentivizing right now in the golf business. And if we can do that, they're going to earn more and work the same, or they're going to be able to work less and earn the same. So it's really a great model that we've established. I want to run everyone through some testimonials of two of our top player development professionals with our company. So our first one is Jennifer Birmingham. She's a PGA and LPGA professional and director of player development at Coda de Casa Golf and Racket Club in Orange County. Beautiful property, 36 holes, a robust membership. And then we also have Mike Johnson, PGA professional, director of player development at Seville Golf and Country Club in Gilbert. Another phenomenal property. A lot of opportunities for Mike to grow his pipeline of membership. They have a very large athletic membership. And just because of somebody's an athletic member and doesn't have golf reciprocity doesn't mean that we can't get them into the game of golf and grow. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this show real quick and show you a couple of testimonials of these two individuals because I think they're very powerful.
My name is Jennifer Birmingham, and as a proud PGA member, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be the Director of Player Development here at Coda de Casa. The Player Development Program has allowed all of our golf professionals to get from behind the counter and out in front of all the members. The reason why we are PGA professionals, the membership experience. We've provided great accompanied plays where we play golf with them. We've provided great golf lessons, great group lessons, great club fitting opportunities, and allowed for all of our golf professionals to be creative and innovative in all the programming that we develop. The sky's the limit here at Codo, and the future is so bright. And we're so thankful for ClubCorp's support along the way. Thank you so much.
All right, so that was one of the testimonials from Jennifer Birmingham at Coda de Casa. And now I'd like to show Mike Johnson.
Hello, PGA of America. My name is Mike Johnston. I am the Director of Player Development at Seville Golf and Country Club in beautiful Gilbert, Arizona. I just wanted to reach out to you and really express my love and appreciation for my role at Seville. As I stated, Director of Player Development, we really focus on the importance of member engagement, member retention. This great position created by ClubCorp just within the past year, I take wholeheartedly and, again, really appreciate the role that I get to do every single day. The ability to be able to be outside with my members, to walk up and down the tee line, give a quick tip here or there, to get out, obviously teach, something I absolutely love to do, or even just getting out and playing 9 holes with my members. It's just a very important role, and I believe that every PGA professional could absolutely benefit from this type of role. So, again, very important. Again, I appreciate the role every single day I come to work, and I wholeheartedly believe that every single PGA professional could benefit from this type of activity as a player development type professional. So thank you for taking the time. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.
So those are some testimonials of professionals, again, that are excelling very well in our program, are really taking to heart what our player development program is about. So, with that being said, that's, the end of my presentation. I'm super excited to be able to be in front of the attendees today for this presentation. I'm more excited to be leading a great charge with our company, ClubCorp, and for our PGA professional. This is something that, once again, I wish I had available to me when I first got into the business. And I'm glad to be changing the culture of our professionals in our company and potentially the PGA professional in the future. Here's my contact information if anybody wants to reach out, get some further advice or discuss it a little bit further. Feel free. That's my direct cell phone number and my email address. And then at this time, as John, mentioned in the beginning, I'm going to open it up for any questions for Q&A if anybody has any questions.
Hey, Matt, this is Tyler. We got a few questions for you. Regarding spend and visits impacts, how do you track additional visits for the care group and golf revenue, retail revenue, etc.? Do you use a CRM system? Matt, can you hear me?
Yeah, so you still there? Sorry, I just switched over to my computer so I could have my video back on. So if you wouldn't mind repeating that question, that'd be great.
Yeah, no problem. Regarding spend and visits impacts, how do you track additional visits for the care group and golf revenue and retail revenue, etc.? Do you use a CRM system?
So we do. So we have a pretty comprehensive booking system for these members that are under care. So we're able to see which individuals are under care, pull past spend history and visit history based on POS tickets that were being rang in. So for instance, if Matt Anzalone went to the club and played a round of golf, obviously we would be ringing that through the POS system. Well, we're able to track that on a year-over-year comparison and see what those spend habits are like. So yes, we do have a pretty comprehensive system that shows and tracks that information for us.
Awesome. Next question. How do you assign care groups for public daily fee facility when you don't have all the correct contact information for these customers?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. This is just in my opinion, obviously not something I've worked with firsthand, but in my opinion, it would start by getting the correct contact information. Every business needs to have contact information for their customers. That's why whenever you go to a store, they're trying to obtain your email address or a phone number. It's so they can manage you. And I would suggest start by cleaning up your list of what you have. Start housing a group of individuals that you want to start managing and get the correct contact information so you can start emailing them. You can start picking up the phone and contacting them and getting them engaged at the club.
Awesome. With regards to the player development program, this person says it seems oriented to private facilities where we can develop and manage these customers' relationships and journey. Does this program transfer appropriately over to daily fee public facilities? And if so, do you have any examples of success at some of these facilities?
Yeah, I absolutely 100% think that this is the player development program is not only something that can translate over to a public golf course, but let's say that you're an independent, instructor. You're an independent instructor, you have a clientele base. And the player development program is all about managing the customer. So if you can start managing your customer base through player development, which is programs of picking up the phone, connecting with them, getting them involved in physical engagements with your staff. So if you're at a public facility, you guys can run coaching clinics, you can run programs. Those programs are only going to drive more interest in your club, in golf, and those individuals will come to your property to play next, to dine after they're done playing. So absolutely 100%, this can translate over to a public facility or an independent contractor that has a clientele base too.
Awesome. Next question, what's, in your opinion, the best thing about working for ClubCorp?
Yeah, great question. I have experienced this firsthand. It's opportunities. There's so many opportunities to grow with this company. Having 180 golf clubs that we own and manage, not only nationwide, but internationally too, Mexico, China, the opportunity is endless. You know, you can live anywhere you want. You know, head golf professional positions, director of golf positions, general manager positions, regional positions. So I think the thing I've enjoyed the most is the opportunity to learn and grow. And when I say learn, you know, your exposure to all types of different golf clubs around the country is, you know, firsthand. I mean, that's hands down probably one of the most important things. If you've only worked at one club in your life, I mean, having the exposure to a 27-hole property versus a 54-hole property versus a private place versus a public place, you know, just that experience and exposure to all those different types of clubs has been important and something I've most.
Awesome. With courses and clubs reopening and adapting from the COVID-19 pandemic, how do you think the player development program will be changed?
That's a really good question, and honestly, I don't think it's changing at all. I think this is a program that needs to be in place now because of the situation we're in. There is no more important time than right now to start managing your customer. With the uncertainty of what's going on with schools potentially being, you know, closed or individuals losing their jobs. I mean, if you're at a private facility, in the snap of a finger, someone could lose their job and leave the golf club. If you're managing that customer and they're socially active and you're engaging with them, you're going to have a better opportunity to retain that person. With schools not going back into session, is that an opportunity for us to capitalize on junior programming? Absolutely. How can we create programs that allow parents to drop their kids off and get 2 to 3 hours of time alone that they would have got when their kid was at school? So I don't think it's changing. I think it's something that needs to be heightened on the importance of our PGA professionals, and it's only going to continue to grow with the circumstances that we're in.
Awesome. Next question. How has ClubCorp's daily operations changed due to COVID-19?
Yeah, I think just the same as probably most of businesses out there, right? We've made changes to adapt to you know, the uncertain times that we have. For the most part, you know, around the country, from what I've been hearing, golf has been continuing to grow. I mean, more people are playing right now. I think that's because, you know, it is something that individuals can do as a recreational piece and be out in fresh air and not necessarily have to be in close quarters around other people so they can social distance. So, you know, golf has continued to grow. We've changed the operation very little. It was more so just like every other company, right? When everything first happened, we didn't know what was going to be brought to us next month or the month after. We can't see into the future, but for the most part, our operations have remained the same due to how busy the golf courses have been.
Awesome. That actually looks like that's all the questions we have, Matt. So on behalf of the Education Committee for the SCPGA, thank you, Matt, for taking the time to educate the section this morning and sharing your expertise with us. Thank you, Matt, for being with us.
Yeah, John or Tyler, really appreciate it. John, thanks for inviting me onto this session, and I truly hope that each of you can take something away that will help not only you as a professional, but maybe your club. And if you have any questions beyond that, you know, feel free to reach out. Always here to help, and I love to educate. So thank you again, and have a great day.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. You too.